Just joking. Right then, TeamOne will start on the CT side. Fluxo will be the aggressors. Do we have P50s on deck? Indeed we do for Lucaozy, but of course, maybe I'm a curse because he gets deleted before he can even fire a shot. Collected by Luxo, who will pop pesadelo. So much extra range for that P250. It's crucial for a pistol round on many maps.
Some information. Maluk re-peeking in, and VSM's trying to go for the wrap. They weren't sure if Malbs had crossed, and he will take this fight and try and keep them busy. VSM will activate as well on his lurk over towards the short position. He's inside of the site, and he's got the backstabs, but he's lost the bomb and his teammates alongside it. IDK and Malbs are the survivors, and VSM will try and be the best of what was offered here for Fluxo. He's going the long way around, too.
Yeah, he's basically in orbit at this point. He's got 1 minute to do it. Perhaps he will have half a chance at taking somebody by surprise. I can't imagine IDK will be looking towards T-spawn. In fact, he is jumping around in suicide, and he will catch him without losing his head. So that is crucial information. Now, TeamOne will reposition to fight together. IDK can hide behind the boxes. He could even jiggle behind the box and maybe, I was going to say, be the initial engager, but VSM could make it to suicide. It seems he spotted one of the players here, waiting for another peek. 28 seconds now, as TeamOne at some point will have to consider just disengaging and going towards the bomb sites instead of defending the bomb. Reset a situation where VSM has to spend time clearing things instead. He knows he's in a 1 versus 1 now. He knows one's by middle doors, but has that CT crossed already? No. 10 seconds to plant that bomb. Short plant's possible. VSM got so much clutch in him. Can he get behind the boxes in time? Indeed he can. Sprays as well! The one taps from VSM. What an outrageous round.
I can't believe he's made that work as well. They did so well to just constantly show themselves for just a flash, constantly updating information about where he was and how to play around it. But how do you calculate for how clean these headshots are for VSM? First the flank and now the finish. Pistol taken by Fluxo, but man, VSM, some kind of man.
He is so good. He is so good, VSM. And it continues to show us just how good he is. Wow. That is quite the round for Fluxo. Now let's see if they can win the consecutive. They have 2 scouts to deal with. I wouldn't want to hang around in that mid position for too long.
Yeah, Woody doesn't give it a second glance. Take your time with this one. You win a round like that, blood is flowing, the adrenaline is up. And we want to make sure that that same story carrying over from Mirage isn't the same on their map pick as well. It is critical that they convert to force it to Ancient. Double scouts is very, very dangerous with these pistols. The early tag and another one being found as well onto Lux. That is unideal. The round hasn't even really gotten started here for Flux, so they come out with the bare minimum of short control, and TeamOne are again playing this defensive CT setup.
Time is very, very critical for Fluxo. 50 seconds on the clock as they start to push forward. The bomb didn't fall into CT spawn. That's really important. But the urgency to go to the bomb site around this smoke could lead to catastrophe. I don't know what the hell just happened there, how they got those kills through the smoke, but suddenly things have turned around into a 3 versus 2. I've got so many questions. 30 seconds on the clock as they look to plant the bomb. At least time has been on their side in that respect. That's a very important frag for Woody as well. TRK still dangerous if he chooses to go for it with the 5-7. No kit though. Maybe he feels like this is going to be too much to ask.
Should have info as well that one more player is tagged. They had 3 confirmed hits on Fluxo players, and so if they're tracking those assists, it is super key, but can't finish off business. Lucaozy was the one to beat, and they get themselves out of a pretty bad situation. Fluxo taking so many tags and getting staggered on the A play. It required Phelps to walk through the site smoke to try and find an engagement, and after he did that, both him and Lucaozy activated the same time over. He just caught a glimpse of the back.
That only happens in a derby, okay? That is not happening anywhere else.
Yeah, do you take that risk against any other teams?
I mean, if he doesn't do that, or if he does that and fails, this round goes another way. But Fluxo win that consecutive round. Very bizarre round indeed, and we're into eco territory for TeamOne. Losing players very quickly indeed. But hey, a fast eco round is a good eco round. Pesadelo and TRK remain, but for how long? TRK being teased outside the B bomb site, fishing with that P250, but that aim punch certainly won't help. Gets a kill towards the end, so damage was done. P250 pays for itself. Perfect weapon.
Yeah, that secondary kill that couldn't quite be finished off. He hit him with a dink through the door. Thought he was much lower than he truly was. I think he survived on 5 HP in the end. But yeah, nice to see that they're dealing with rounds like this rather quickly after the long slog of back and forth we seem to have. Fluxo finding form in the opening segment. Orbs are out though, and a double at that, something that Fluxo cannot test at distance. So if they don't throw the right flashes, they don't have the right presence, they could fall into traps. But Pesadelo has some information as well about a player in middle. Probably one of the harder fights you can take here if you're Fluxo going up against this AWP.
One of two for the CTs at present. They've got a fair amount of flashes. Definitely want to do a jump throw flash, go as deep as possible. Just biding their time for now. Minute 10 on the clock. We can see Woody still lurking around that B-bomb site. The grenades start to be deployed, but where are the flashes? Will they offer sacrifice to Maluk? He announces his position, dropping a smoke grenade to slow down the push from Fluxo as well. There is the lurk eliminated by Pesadelo. Lucaozy is down. Maluk up close now, really up close, and suddenly we're in a 4 versus 2. The numbers dropping for TeamOne. Soon there might be one left, as there's only 2 right now. IDK well out of position, asking questions of the car, but no one's behind it.
Very, very committed with a double AWP setup in your first real gun round, your first real test of the Fluxo grit, and to have it immediately dismantled like this, it's understandable they go for a save as the response. I really thought Maluk was going to find some impact from that spot because the smokes come in late, the flashes aren't really timed alongside that utility, but he doesn't want to stick around for too long and I guess overcommit himself to that duel, but he ended up finding nothing because Fluxo was in his face before he knew it.
60% win rate for TeamOne on Dust2 at the moment, with 10 maps played in the last 3 months. 17 for Fluxo. They've been playing this map more than any other. So we expect big things from them. So far, so good. Looking pretty confident.
It's super fascinating as well, because when we look at different regions and what maps are played in, like, there's a lot of best of ones that happen in smaller tournaments as well, and Fluxo have had to grind through a fair few of them. We actually end up on maps like Nuke a lot. And if you want to be one of the best coming out of South America, Nuke is one of the staples you have to be able to topple with the bigger teams in the region. So to see so many Dust2s, I guess, is not that crazy, but maybe expecting a few more nukes in there to show their tactical prowess, but they have certainly shown that they are clean on the way they're opening up this T side, but maybe not dotting all of their I's. TRK did slip by the net, so it's a 1-for-1 exchange to start. Yeah,
that's a really important kill for the CTs. They were light on utility, but they did have a flashbang in the right place to deploy above the pit and yield a kill, which can give them a rifle, indeed does give them a rifle as well. So this just got way more dangerous for Fluxo, but they're still in a better position. 4 versus 4 for the T side is favorable, especially with time on the clock. You can see Pesadelo trying to hold down the B bomb site from multiple directions. So far, so good as a flashbang for the B bomb site as well, but taken down through mid. You can see Malbs has been boosted up, looking for something. Going through the smoke of his teammate, trying to play off of him. Gets one, drops the bomb, and Lucaozy as well. That leaves Woody in a 1 versus 2. Point of no return. Surely a trade is all but guaranteed here if he takes the right shot, especially. We're going to see that pop out. Oh my God, TRK just a bit slow there. A bit slow out of the gates. That shouldn't be happening, but here we are.
I didn't think he'd bolt it back in time, but Woody hitting shot after shot. Don't know him much for flare and fast shooting on the AWP, but really showing that he can hang with the best. We've seen good clutches from Fluxo so far on this T side.
You've got to trade that kill.
Yeah.
You really have to trade that kill.
Don't know if that's an error in the spacing or an error in comms and how exposed one another is, but something was missing.
He went too deep behind that box, so must have felt like a marathon to get out there and try and trade that frag. But here we are. Opportunity lost for TeamOne. 4 versus 5 already as the B bomb site will be seized by Fluxo in round number 6. IDK doing what he can to try and make this round or keep this round competitive. The bomb's actually still in T spawn at the moment. Someone's going to have to rotate that, but they're already exiting the situation, TeamOne, as one would expect them to do. 3 versus 4, B bomb site taken, only so much you can do. Even if the bomb is delayed, I can't imagine they'll be heading back anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way they have information that that's what's happened here, because it felt like Fluxo themselves, it was an oversight. Losing Lux on the entry, they went double mid, double push into B. In fact, a trifecta of players, but there was no 6th man, one not needed. Good entries, though, and one that TeamOne just have to immediately concede, like you're saying, you know, the retakes on the sides of the map. That's why we were talking about earlier as well when we covered Outsiders. You know, Dust2 is a map that does feel like it almost incentivizes you to save because you have some good save positions. It's quite far and detached from other sides of the map. And the AWP is a very strong weapon to have.
Yeah, it's an interesting, well, it's a delicate balance here for TeamOne, because if they were to get wiped every buy round, then every buy round for Fluxo is basically worth 2. But if they can keep these players alive, they can buy around these weapons. So in a round where they lose, if they can keep those 3 players alive, then they can have more of a fighting chance in the next round. Otherwise, this half could go very quickly indeed. So they disengage at the right time, and they can have another go in this round. Still looking for their first round, and boy, were they close with that 2 versus 1 situation. But again, perhaps too far behind the box to punish the cooldown of the AWP. 6-0, and off we go. A pretty good buy for TeamOne. TRK, though, getting tagged through the door. Dust2 still punishing for CT.
Feels like these rounds are just never set up to be that successful here for TeamOne. Even when they found those man advantages, like we've noted, these clutches for Fluxo have been there to answer the call.
I should add, like, actually, maybe it's not time to add, because this might be a fast one into the B bomb site here. I wanted to mention something about crossing towards B. You know, ideally, they don't want to use a smoke grenade, because those are very, very valuable. You can use a HE grenade because it kicks up so much dirt. We'll see if that happens later on. For now, VSM's going to be the one trying to make entries into the B bomb site, but TRK's in the right place at the right time with the right elevation to find 2, and this will be hard to convert for Fluxo.
Can't lose this one, surely. A 5-on-3, and they get those kills so clean. Lux answering back with a double, and Woody is answered again. I shouldn't have said anything. I'm sorry for it, because TRK is a sitting duck. It's only Maluk, and he's traded back. It goes so well to kick off that round for TeamOne. They can feel it within their grasp, and then it's yoinked.
Did you see that kill onto the car position?
Yeah, he jumps
insane
from the top rope.
Like an 80s kung fu movie with the sound effects in the background, just slowly flying through the air. Absolutely outrageous. They don't feel like they can lose a round in this half, and the way they've won some of these rounds, it's hard to argue against that.
Oh no.
Have a look at that incendiary. That was from T-Spawn?
Very, very fast. You can still make it lower, but it does come at a cost. People have gotten very nerdy with Dust2 with recent changes. Even slightly before it. We see smokes from across the map.
That's some international track and field PlayStation 1 using a coin to get the maximum power type of business that we're seeing right there. That is, there's no, that's beyond science there. No one's throwing anything that far. He threw a wine bottle down there. It's like a mile.
Well, maybe miles and miles still to go here for TeamOne. This trek has not been kind to their little legs. They lose the opener. Maluk has had the AWP quite a few times over, but has not been able to get engaged. Kill from Malves will secure at least a path to go for a retake later on, but Lux is still there to lock it down. There is a trade again, so 3-on-3, but if they do plant on this A site, they've got a pretty thin spread of players. The one that's going to be chewed out. Back to 2-on-2, equal numbers all the way.
Oh, he's in trouble. He's in a lot of trouble, is Woody, but he's still alive. IDK looking for the cavalry. Here they are, but you've got to find that kill. The USP will finish off the job there. Down to the 1v1 now. So much pressure on IDK to get a round for the CTs, but Phelps will deny him. The clean sheet remains. Sparkling white sheets here for Fluxo as they continue their run. 8-0 on their pick of Dust2.
And it all kicked off with the sparkling white teeth of VSM, that grin after he wins the crazy clutch for them. I mean, it's just been a close round after close round, and it seems like TeamOne are honestly putting themselves in winning positions more often than not, especially these last maybe 4 rounds. But every time it comes time to take it over the line, things have always fallen through. I don't know what they have found answers, they just haven't tied the bow on anything.
Yeah, this is felt so quick as well. These rounds on Dust2. Fluxo ready for every situation, it would appear. Pesadelo with this AWP. Some nice shots from him. However, Phelps is the man who secures the round. Down to the final bullets there, but does what he needed to do. Now we see Fluxo taking over the long position. We can see Pesadelo's been boosted on short with the 1M4, the 1 rifle for the CTs in this round. But have a look at Woody's position. Oh, he was holding the angle as well. As soon as he stops, the kill is there for Pesadelo. But what did the rest of the team do?
Oh, maybe just hit clean heads. TeamOne finding some nice opportunities, and if they can create a bit more room for this rifle, Pesadelo's here in time. The smoke as well will last an extra 10 seconds, but fresh smokes for Fluxo to cross. They can move to contain them here if they're quick about it here on TeamOne, and maybe even recover that AWP, and they are certainly spreading out for clues. Fluxo don't want to just run into what could potentially be a trap, and it's already lane.
There are still 2 mollies here for Fluxo, but there are so many smokes as well. And perhaps the first round they'll lose is the one they can make the least sense of. All of these smokes and all of these CTs are still alive. Malbs of 1 HP, dancing around fire and hot cold. That bomb not planted just yet though. Maluk's flank has been eliminated. Many CTs coming from that short position, and all the remainder have got Kevlar, so this is not going to be easy. Bomb still not planted, but they are giving up the kills here, TeamOne.
Not another clutch. It can't be. Oh my, it can't be. He's already so low. IDK got the wall bang onto the site player, and Lux has no idea where he was last seen. The reposition is fantastic. Finally, a clutch goes the way of TeamOne. This is where it finally stops.
Again, the round that makes the least sense. The round with the most variance is the round they lose, and that in itself makes some sense, but the problem is, as well, you know, they've won a round, and that's good. But we haven't seen anything that TeamOne can replicate to win another round.
Yeah.
So I would imagine that's probably going to head towards 9-1. All the evidence would suggest that, and so will that frag.
Yeah.
That's what you call a gap.
The start of rounds has always been a hit or miss, and lots of misses here from Maluk. A chance at on that AWP, and Malbs is dinked. They might have even heard how close that was, but Malbs is past the flames, didn't retreat, moved forward, and that's because of all this pressure. Lucaozy has found another one, and that's because Malbs was sat in the smoke. I mean, you have to find a multi-kill here. There's no other way here for TeamOne to recover.
This is a dazzling half of Dust2. Dazed and confused, TeamOne might be, but Pesadelo is still fighting. 13 kills, leading for his team at the moment in the frag column by a long way as well. Really fighting tooth and nail for these. And here is one of the worst plants possible for TeamOne, but they are being contained at present, like an animal at the zoo on that B bomb site. Looking at the goings-on through the bars, maybe. As they will feel like they're in some kind of jail as Fluxo head towards 9-1.
But I mean, they came across like they were lions, but it's like they have been declawed. Almost the rounds where they have their claws, it's like they're stripped from them every single time. Like when they're on gun rounds, they've had no success, and like you said, the round that made the least sense is the one that they have the solitary Uno for this CT half.
It's rough, it's hard, it's dark. This half for TeamOne, it is very difficult indeed. They're just getting absolutely smashed. Absolutely smashed. Like their hammers are made of plastic. Nothing is really working for them. But maybe the Deagles will. Flux having a go in that mid position. IDK looking for a would-be headshot, but they're not going to outstay their welcome there, Flux. So they'll head towards long. But their lurker in lower tunnel again. VSM very... Oh, that didn't go where he wanted it to. TRK will have a look. In the meantime, we've got more volleys going towards that car position. Maluk somehow still alive. Didn't quite land where it was supposed to. Malves will try and play off of that.
They should be a kill. Oh, jumps right into his arms wide. Those look like kills that they'll get every other day, but this is not TeamOne's on Dust2. Malves will at least find something to write home about, and the reset between shots is very patient. Malves on the Deeg, he was the reason they even got to an advantage in this series, and he has another pop-off round on that pistol.
Another chaotic round full of variance, and another round in the bag. Now, the question is, for TeamOne, how many rounds can they get out of this half? Maybe this half is the worst it's going to be, and things only get better once they switch sides. Maybe that's where they can do something. But they need to go into that half, if that's the case, with some rounds, more than 2 rounds.
Yeah, I don't think anybody would argue against it. More than 2 is probably what everyone's saying at home if you're a TeamOne fan. Something, anything to at least give you a little wiggle room. You're not putting pressure on pistol rounds and half-buy rounds like they have been so far this half. They've gotten their miracle rounds already. I don't know if there is going to be more like it.
We need to see the money situation for the T side. It's not spectacular, and there are still 6 rounds possible for this CT side. So if they can break the money somewhat, then maybe that's their way in. Have a look at this situation for Fluxo. They've got a hero AK and a bunch of pistols. VSM will hide behind the smoke, so they've got a degree of map control since there's no CTs there. They've disengaged from that long position. They'll have to hold on to short here, TeamOne. But this is perhaps a road to recovery for TeamOne here. They've put Fluxo essentially on eco. So far, so good in round 12.
Getting aggressive, and the fact that they are aggro short and lower tunnels simultaneously, they wouldn't have expected TeamOne to go with so many different angles of attack, but they want to make sure that Fluxo cannot set up. This might actually give them a bit of a misread on the economy, the fact they had a rifle to play around and the upgraded pistols around it. Fluxo have kept a buffer. Shot for VSM, but not going to amount to anything more. The Woody Glock and TeamOne have not only found a second round, but a third to add to the tally.
Yeah, that is fantastic for them. Again, just get every round you can and get the hell out of this half. 3 rounds to go, 3 opportunities. They could double their score. And who knows, that could be huge for them. I don't know what lies for them once they move to the T side, but I know that they have a chance to do something here. We see some shortcomings now. Woody lacking grenades, AWP, so not a big deal. Lucaozy on the Desert Eagle. We've also seen a lot of Desert Eagle kills in this series thus far from both squads. But again, got to focus on the opportunity. Malbs gets his bell rung by the Galil, but he's still alive.
Put it this way, we've seen far more pistol kills than I think we have of AWP kills. Maybe Woody would have about the right tally, but considering it's a heavy investment for TeamOne, they've just never seen that activation. It's crazy to think that they're in this rut, and Pesadelo has 17 kills. Fluxo aren't even really scraping at the heels of the frags he's put forward, but they've got enough rounds already on this T side, just trying to make it even more. TRK will try again for some aggression into the upper tunnels. This time VSM does not let him slip past.
Does that pull rotation? That is a big question. Maybe there's no time for it. 3 players on this A bomb side. They've got incendiaries. They have a smoke as well. And we might see a plan B, figuratively and literally here for Fluxo, as we've got a creep in the smoke towards that B bomb site. Molotov off short. Do they commit to the B bomb site here? It looks like it. The bomb's in the tunnels now. 44 seconds on the clock. They could still fall back, but I can't see that happening.
Really desperate play there from Maluk, just trying to keep them busy and a bit present of the fact that they could be getting wrapped, but IDK is left on a complete island here, both angles being covered, and there will be at least the drop of the bomb, so that can buy more time for TeamOne to consider this one, but it's just maybe a little too far gone. They're actually going to try and put pressure before they get the plant, but Lucaozy gets both kills, so what little hope they had of retaking is swiftly dealt with. Double digits for Fluxo.
Yeah, this is a disastrous round. Maluk, he has to hold on to this AWP because he could have dropped 2 or more weapons for his teammates, but the scope obscures his vision from lower tunnel and he goes down for free. That was a key weapon to hold for this team, unable to do that, and things just get more and more difficult for TeamOne on their CT side.
The real difference as well is that when we look at the AWPers, both AWPing in-game leaders for both of these squads, when you consider what the Woody contribution is and what their expectations are of him, it's a much lower than what they would have for Maluk, considering he's been such a stable member. But this has just been going bad to worse here for TeamOne in this half. Couple of trades to kick things off. Long and short attacks were quick here from Fluxo, but they know that Mouse is separated from the site. The smoke that's down will at least make them think that maybe Gandalf is occupied, but sitting close to the site. So if Fluxo think they can plant, that would simply be a ruse.
Great idea from Malbs. Will it pay off for him? They need this. Oh, he started well, but the FAMAS versus the AK. VSM only needs that one bullet. He will say the same to TRK as well. IDK in the clutch now, 1 versus 3. Finished off VSM, looking for a second kill. We've got Woody coming up from long with the AWP to support his teammate. So maybe Lux hides now. Maybe he peeks once that AWP fires off. IDK will try to isolate these fights. That flashbang will be very, very strong indeed, but he's going to press forward now. Lux will peek him and rip his face off. 11-3 for Fluxo.
I honestly don't know what they could be doing better, because they are trading headshots blow for blow, but sometimes they just don't have the right weapons for it as well. Fluxo have been unrelenting. The trades are quick, and the round in which that TeamOne get aggressive, and actually, I mean, going even isn't obviously ideal for a defensive end, but Fluxo have an immediate response afterwards as well. Even the little outplay that Malbs tried to go for, it isn't enough. Again, I will say it, VSM, some kind of man.
He's an alien. He's not a man, he's an alien. The things he's been doing.
Small-headed alien, maybe. They have not been able to kill him quick. Oh god, IDK, damage done, but it comes at a cost of his own HP. Last round of the half, so last chance for TeamOne to salvage something CT.
Tanking damage in that mid position are these 2 scouts, but they can be very irritating until you take them down. Pesadelo will get yet more kills in that short position. Looking to capitalize on that as well. The last man standing now, and he finds himself with 2. He needs the ace, picks up the AWP, and he's ready for this. Suddenly we're in a 1 versus 1. He surely has absolutely no idea where Lux is. Coming down that long position. Oh boy, is that going to really work out for him? If you know the MSL smoke from the corner, you can smoke CT spawn, but he gets over, and Pesadelo will head towards long.
Recovered a flash as well, might be able to throw a ruse that he's approaching from short, but Lux is trying to take it himself. Not trying to play any trickery, no small mind games. Lux has gone for a nice solid post plant, but out in the open, he's going to wait for a pesadelo, and he just cannot pull it off. An ace was far too much, and a 12-3 half for Fluxo as they look to push us to a 3rd map. We'll see if TeamOne have answers moving into their own attacking side, but things are looking grim. We'll see if TeamOne can evade the Grim Reaper.
In the first half of Dust2, Fluxo having a party and TeamOne apparently were not invited. Now TeamOne will move to the aggressor side and we'll see if they can make their way in or if they'll be shut out permanently as far as Dust2 is concerned. Ancient might be just around the corner as far as VSM is concerned. 2 headshots for him. 3 more players streaming in. VSM, he only knows one tap. That's all he knows. Has he done enough? Apparently he has, because Phelps will finish off the job, and that was a lightning fast pistol.
Yeah, I can't believe that he just keeps getting away with rounds like that. His pistol play has been flawless, and it's just taps on taps. I think honestly this series has delivered some of the best pistol plays we've seen so far this tournament, but it's just because we've seen so many low buy rounds, we've maybe just been oversaturated with the stuff.
You have to wonder what his ceiling is, VSM. Such a strong individual player, great sense for the game. Oh, got to be careful about that one then. You've really got to have that lineup on lock. You need, because if it goes outside of the door, that's what can happen. And just like that, suddenly Fluxo are in trouble. 3 players remain. Rifles collected by TeamOne, and the chaos continues.
Like synchronized swimmers, they found these kills instant. One after the other. Maybe you'd only give him an 8.5 for synchronized, but about as much as you can ask for a round like this. Talk about pistol play, it's just more of the same. TeamOne will get a lifeline, they lose pistol, but then answer back with Deegs of their own and have got their hands on, albeit one of them isn't a premium rifle, but a couple of the CT rifles that they can play off of the round after.
Awkward indeed. Taste of their own medicine, perhaps. TeamOne on the scoreboard quickly. And again, as we mentioned in the previous game, if you're from a T-side perspective, not when the score is like this, but generally speaking, if you lose the pistol, if you win the force buy and kill all the CTs, it can be very favorable to catch up quickly. That's not quite the situation, though, with 2 M4s saved by the CT side. So let's see how things play out in the next one.
It's been quite a long time since I don't know, economic changes are something that's hard to track, especially if you're newer players, but yeah, you only get 1 round loss bonus if it's done this way, instead of the 2 you usually get from losing the pistol round.
See the proper short boost from Fluxo as well. Not the one where you sit in the corner and you have to jump multiple times. Have a look at the demo. 4 versus 4 as VSM tries to make a difference for his team. Of course, one would need to do that in a round such as this, where there are all kinds of shortcomings. But that rifle's been lost now. 4 versus 4, which will favor TeamOne. Although Pesadelo might not last too long. I mean, he's got 24 kills on the board already. That man has been really trying to keep his team alive in this.
So odd to see such a strong performance, and the score for the team has not been reflective of that. Eyes will be on Maluk. He is a high-impact player typically for TeamOne on that AWP, and whether he can salvage his game or not in this T side will be, I imagine, one of the crutches that TeamOne have to rely on.
Well, that's going to be an awkward journey into the B-bomb site, or maybe it won't be, because headshots are being delivered. Pesadelo with a great angle now. And that's exactly the kill TeamOne needed, because look at their health. Things could have easily got out of hand if Fluxo got another kill. But Lux will have to try and hold on to what he can. TeamOne will move to 5. Often a game of 2 halves. Counter-Strike. You can have no momentum on one half and have all the momentum on the other one. Yeah, plenty of rounds to play, though, so we don't know if that's going to be true, but going from 4 rounds to 5, good.
The theory always is that if they can have a dominant half, then you can too. But psychology, actual skill, it doesn't always work that way, unfortunately. Otherwise, I would have maybe come back in all the stomps that I've been a part of on the receiving end of. But nice to see that they're able to keep their heads on straight. This is exactly what the doctor ordered, even if it came at some penalty to HP, they keep these players alive, and then they try to play positions afterwards. Fluxo aren't sweating, and they won't be until TeamOne start threatening double digits. if they pulled off another comeback, it would certainly be something to witness.
Well, the quest is on. Everybody very, very focused on the task at hand. This is a very top-heavy tournament in terms of prize money as well, so you really want the deepest run possible. To go out very early, to have that early bath is going to be extremely disappointing for one of these teams.
And also the incentive of competing for a spot at ESL Pro League is a lot of opportunities that people can sometimes miss out on. Good double kill from Phelps into towards the lower tunnels, and Fluxo have found a bit of a gap, maybe an opening that can be exploited. This is an investment round from them to try and keep TeamOne in their tracks, stop them, and proverbially they will do exactly that. Again, 1-for-1 exchanges, and these M4s, the premium buys for Fluxo, are being guarded.
You can see VSM creeping in the lower tunnel. There may be prizes, some treasure for him to find. Well, he's found an AK-47 now, and that is a bad situation for anybody not on VSM's team. We know what he's capable of, and he's showing us that on a regular basis. Trying to catch up with Pesadelo's lead of 26 kills now. VSM on 23. Seen nice plays from both. Definitely a lion's share for VSM with the lead his team have. 40 seconds on the clock, and that scout will spot players making their way down long now. No connections for Woody, however. But what can his teammate do? He needs to try and delay as much as possible, but those smokes will make it hard for him as he tries to hold on to shore.
Oh, he doesn't escape, but he landed a tag just before he fell to the grave. And one-on-one, Maluk trying to get this bomb planted while he has that AWP in hand, has had his fair share of misses, and VSM has never missed an opportunity when he's given the chance, and he'll get it again. This man, it might not have been a headshot this time, but he comes up clutch every time Fluxo need him.
Every single time. Moves to 25 kills now to the 27 of Pesadelo. Smile on his face and just another clutch in the bag. Just another round in the office for VSM. Casually clutches rounds. Casually.
I want people to understand that both VSM and Pesadelo have over 100 ADR respectively for their teams. The next closest, we're looking at the 70s for the rest of the squad. It has been a battle of two beasts, but one's winning rounds, the other is still struggling to get his squad the same results. Wow, that's
quite a snap.
Crazy play from Make as well.
That's the player who's ready for Dust2. Oh, the flashbang is perfectly timed as the Arcade tries to support his teammate in the pit. It's 1:30 on the clock. It's a 1 versus 5. What is happening in this series? This is fascinating. Maluk has much work to do. We've got CTs in T-spawn with 1:20 on the clock. Being given nothing for 3. I love that angle with the AWP from lower tunnel. Looking for that rotation from long. Man, that was brutal. Game point for Fluxo. Many game points for Fluxo.
Yeah, and full trust in the utility. The engagement protocol for Fluxo was flawless. Tried to get themselves out long nice and quick, but TeamOne were met at the gate, and they didn't have the keys. Sorry, gotta knock a little harder than that. Seems like third map is a calling, and Maluk can do nothing to kick things off the ground. Phelps is taking the first, and Lucaozy will combine alongside it. IDK can only get one, and Malv's a Deeg, a 1-on-4 might be too much to ask.
Unscripted violence from Fluxo on Dust2. In history books for this map, TeamOne were hardly there, but we saw some amazing rounds, especially from VSM. Great highlights for the history books as far as Fluxo are concerned, and they will storm us to an ancient, exacting revenge after Mirage.
Yeah, to think that things were as close as they were in that first map, but then the second, it was contentious, but then every clutch just goes their way. Fluxo had